Say?
Andre, my name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it looked like it had more lettering than just that.
Andre, Andre, Andre.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, hello everyone. Welcome back. We're just waiting for our guest to join. I guess he's running a little bit behind, but we're actually going to talk about copy trades today, and it's definitely an interesting idea that's gone around a lot online. I think we both get messaged a lot about it, and it's something that I wanted us to have someone on to talk to the audience about. So hopefully we get this person on. I mean, we're definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, copy trades is I'll say, a very interesting business.
hmm I
If
mean, I want to learn more about it because what these people are making, like I want to be able to learn how to do too. So I have my notepad here ready to take notes.
yeah, I mean, I tell people like when it comes to the back end and programming trade program, setting up a signal service, it is not difficult. Literally, you'll have a rope. I mean, I've done this personally myself. So
hmm
you can program a very whatever algorithm for your trades.
hmm
Once the trade has a signal, it'll spit it out in like an RSS feed directly to Telegram or what other big trading platforms they have. I
WhatsApp.
use Telegram. Yeah, WhatsApp. It basically just sends the same signal, and people
hmm
pay to join the signal group, and that's basically the business model.
I had a WhatsApp invitation a couple weeks ago, and it was
Mm-hmm.
funny because you know that stock Riot. I think the ticker symbol is Riot, RIOT.
Let me see.
Um, well, the guy sent me the same screenshot, and he says, "Look how good our stock picks are doing," and it was the same screenshot twice. And I said, "You know, this is the same screenshot twice." So this isn't like different days' performance. It's kind of
Mm.
funny.
And I do, and like when if you guys remember those old some advertisements with I forgot his name, like Ready Go Bull Run Trading. We had the best signals. I just ask, look at the person's business model when selling
hmm
signals, and ask him if it's such so profitable. Why are they selling the signal?
Yeah.
Are they taking the opposite trade, which would be very interesting. Like they sell a
hmm
signal for people to buy so they can
Right.
short. But that would be, I don't know if that's illegal or not. I have no idea.
Oh, posting signals.
Well, not posting just signals, taking the opposite trade of the signal.
Taking the opposite trade of the signal. So shorting what you tell your audience to do.
Yeah, because typically if you're asking people to buy,
hmm
just say, hey, you send a signal you're buying, there's a good possibility that you're already pre-entered. Like you're already in. You just need you need a big push
Well,
so
that's
you
what
can
I
exit.
hear. Yeah, with a lot of the bigger YouTubers, like they sell courses and stuff like that, and they push a stock, and then the stock goes up, and then they look like geniuses. Oh, look, I told you it was going to do great, but it's like because of the what they've said, they've got people buying in, which then makes the stock go up.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then one of the two things, they exit their position early and then either short that because in crypto this happens all the time. You'll see a big massive pump up and then that the insiders exited their position at staggered exits and then they started entering the short positions to
hmm
catch the shortfall. And it is a massacre. It happens so often in crypto. Like
hmm
it's like every single new crypto that comes out. And it's like I think once a month there's like 200 cryptos coming out.
That's crazy.
All like I was making videos when about crypto when there's like 10,000 cryptos like on
hmm
here on YouTube. We're at 23,000 now.
Wow, more than doubled.
Yeah, 23,000, and it just crypto has a lot of signals like hey buy
hmm
this crypto, and I tell you like especially in cryptocurrency markets, guys, you want to be very cautious because there's a good possibility you're going to get rug pulled because creating crypto takes like 15 minutes and you don't know how much of the supply that person has gotten for free. And in
hmm
crypto, you can do that. You can create cryptos and you already own 90% coming out the door for free.
Right.
And all the new buyers are putting in real cash.
hmm
That new money, oh my God, like I'll give you guys, while we're waiting for our guests to get on, I'll show you guys some really cool examples of massive pump and dumps from coin.
I'd say each
Basically,
minute that goes by, the chances are diminishing that we get him on.
Yeah, and this is not discrediting him. I just show this is something that I personally experienced, guys, in this market. I've been hit with a bunch of scams. I got trapped in a scam before. I profited in it, but
I have too. But just based on what he said, I mean, this has to be golden. This copy trade thing has to be absolutely golden, based on what he said on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll find out.
I'm sharing my screen if you don't mind.
Yeah, here you go.
All right, guys. So we're on CoinMarketCap, one of the best websites to just look at cryptocurrencies. And let's look at some of the biggest gainers and losers. Where is it at? Here, gainers and losers. One of my favorite things to show. And you'll see some cryptos in 24 hours do like 30%, 300%, like massive gains. But if you start looking at some of these older cryptos, and this is the rank number, let's measure by rank. So this is the top 97, right? Basically top 100. And if we start looking at some of the new cryptos, trending, spotlight, yeah. Now we can get out of these. Ooh, look at these. Like this is called Taboo token. Okay. This thing's gone up in the last 30 days, 79%. So let's check out the charts. See what we're dealing with. We got AELF, so ELF tokens gone up 10%. Those are some big ones. We'll skip those. Let's do some smaller, lesser known one. This is Decree. So let's just look at some of these cryptocurrencies and let's check the charts. This is trading at 0.002. And remember, if you guys do not know about anything about crypto, guys, the majority of cryptocurrencies out of this 23,000 cryptos right here, almost all tokens, and they almost all are copies of Ethereum, BNB. They're all just copies of each other. And we check the charts, we have stuff like this. See? Massive run up, huge run up, and then pump right back down. See, we have all these curves, and without even knowing the cryptocurrency, we basically can see from basically September, let's say October 1st area, it ramps up, peaks at November. So we got like a month. So we got a month of insiders buying, and then it never recovers.
Was this in 2021?
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, that looks like it. Yep.
Now, some people are like, oh, it's going to come back. Well, I'll tell you this. The big money's gone. It left.
Yeah.
Let's look at and I have personally never checked out half these cryptos. There's too many from even me to go through. They typically all do the same thing. Get pumped up really, really high and never come back. And you got to watch out because a lot of these signal groups are using your entry to, like this. Look at this. You see this big move up? Why did this happen? And then get pumped back down. That is massive.
Yep.
And see, insiders' money. So a lot of these people use these signal groups. I'm not saying this individual, I have no idea, but I would say for crypto, this happens so often that it's normal. It's normal to hear about scams. And here, let's look at some losers again. And it's interesting. We start looking at the losers, you'll start seeing that some of these are scam coins. So here, let's look at all. So look at this crypto right here. It's ranked 3,619. It did 1,855% in one day.
In one day, wow.
Let's check the chart.
You don't even have to know anything about crypto. You can just copy somebody else's trades and make that for free, right?
Yeah, I mean.
By the way, our guest is online.
He's
just not. Our guest that's supposed to be on, he's online. He's green. He's just not responding.
I mean, I've never seen this crypto. I hope he does. It'd be nice. I'd love to talk to someone new.
Yeah, I want to learn more about
something.
this. I want to get in. After you told me 1,000% in a day, I want to get in now.
I mean, if you start looking at this crypto, it skyrocketed in December 2022, and nothing.
So that hasn't
guess what?
happened in like a year.
Oh no, this is last year. 4 months ago.
A few months ago. Darn, I was hoping that happened like today.
Like market cap 1.6 million. I don't know how much liquidity is.
But it happened once, so that means it can happen again, right?
Oh, I think it happens once, and then the big money runs away and creates a new project and does the exact same thing.
One and done.
Yeah, they just create crypto projects. So this is something that I think is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know about a group that does this. They create crypto projects. They sell the crypto to big influencers. They get the influencers to pitch their scam, because it's all a token. I mean, I can create a crypto in like 20 minutes. There's just YouTube videos talking about this stuff.
What do you think about this BTCY?
The best crypto ETF I got. Ugh,
yeah.
Crypto. When people pick cryptos and ETFs, is always like, what is the definition of an ETF?
Exchange traded fund.
You have a fund of XYZ, so it can be either two things: real assets or derivatives. And if it's a derivative, I mean, I would say most cryptos, their real value is very, very poor, because it's just how it is. Most cryptos don't utilize or accomplish a task. Some do, but those are very, very rare. The majority of this 23,000 are just.
Oh, he said look it up.
Let's look it up right now.
On the screen. Yeah.
Here, let's go through this right here. Let's see their ETF strategy is. Who's their key strategist? Okay, he said BTC. What was it? BTC what?
BTCY.
BTCY. Let's see.
I think it's a Bitcoin ETF, isn't it?
I don't know. There's so many. Stock on the NASDAQ. Let me see. Biotricity Inc. Currently trading at 4 cents, 46 cents. The earnings per share is negative 4 cents. Okay.
He said it's
a negative. It would have to have a negative.
Whatever that means.
Huh?
That's what he said. It's by purpose, whatever that means.
Oh, actually, give me a second. Let me read his comments at the same time. Let me bring it up on here. Give me 1 second. So he said it's done intentionally. Okay, so they had a revenue of 8.52 million. Let's look at the charts. The first thing I like to look at before I look at this data. Let me check our live stream. THB. Let's see.
Yeah, I got the link.
I like
here.
looking at this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, our friend just went away again. He was online, but now it says away 7 minutes.
I mean, that's what it's on. I would like to see.
I was looking forward to signing up today. He's going to end up losing a commission.
Remember, I was talking about the same thing. I was just talking about this, and
the run.
I just look at the chart. Look at this. Look at that. The big money's gone.
Yeah. And this is investing.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it was me, I would go through, check their social media platforms, look at the dates between this time frame, and see who was promoting it. Possibly, because remember, on Twitter back in like 2017, 2018, 19 was pumping crypto hard. So look at some big influencers. Maybe they're sharing this stock. Hey, I'm buying this. Not financial advice.
Right.
I mean,
as long as you put that disclaimer.
My computer, I don't even need to add my robot to check this out. There is no big money left. It's gone.
He's saying you're looking at the wrong one.
I am.
So is it
BTCY?
BTCY?
Okay. If I'm gonna go the wrong one, my bad. I thought he said BTCY.
I thought it was the right one, but I'm trying to get. We were supposed to have a guest on here, so I'm kind of half focused
Okay.
on that. Let me see
The
here.
ticker is BTCY.
That looked like the right
Yeah,
one.
that's fine.
Biotricity.
Let me see.
That comes up for me too. Biotricity. BTCY.
Yeah. Mr. Paul Varden, can you type in the name of the company, please? Maybe we have a miscommunication.
Give us
Maybe
ticker
it's
and
like an
company.
OTC stock. Yeah, if it's an OTC
Well, to be our
stock,
guest,
then
you have to
maybe.
join the live stream. I put the link up.
Yeah, if you don't want to join, it's fine. Just type in the company's name. It's got Purpose Investments BTC.
This was supposed to be our guest here. This is the person's name, but he's kind of like ghosting us.
BTCY. Maybe they're not. Okay, let me try Yahoo Finance. Okay.
Purpose Investments, BTCY. Because I mean, I typed in BTCY, and the same thing came up for me that he pulled up. So I don't know what to tell you, unless there's different ones.
Give me 1 second. Maybe.
Google it.
There's sometimes they have. I have to Google it. Give me a second. Let's check Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance has a lot of these.
I usually use Yahoo, so my audience
stocks.
is kind of accustomed to that.
My main thing is investing.com. BTC.
Yeah. BTCY.
Okay, I got a couple. I got. It's called Purpose. Oh, I found it. Purpose Yield ETF. Which one is it?
Bitcoin Yield ETF by Purpose Investments.
Yeah, there's two.
Must be it. Let's see how it's done. Oh, it's done okay. Did it just start? Like, oh wait, that's year to date, and it's been around since. When was it?
Oh, which one did you click on?
Oh, it's a Canadian fund. December 2021. Ooh, I don't know about this one. It is U.S. listed. It's down. Like, so it started December. What I see here, December 3rd, 2021. It was $9.44. It's fallen to $3.77. So it's down. It's down to $3.77. Down 60% all time. So
it's a Canadian. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I found here. Toronto.
Okay, let's look at it. I mean,
Toronto, right?
Let's bypass the financials and just look at just the chart, because the chart's going to be telling us a lot more. Let's see, Max. I want to see. God. There's a little bump. There's a little bump up, but I mean, it might fill this gap right here. But you're talking about like $1 difference. I mean, statistically, you're talking about 1 over 3.77. It might go up 26% higher, but I don't see any big movement where money can be placed.
He says, read the prospectus over the charts. I don't know. Why do you say that?
You have a dividend of 2 cents. So what's the dividend yield? 2 cents over current price. 0.021.
Well, just summarize for us. What's the prospectus saying that's so good? I mean, I will say, because I worked in the industry, those prospectuses, they are very fancy. They put a lot of marketing budget into those.
I mean, there's a good possibility that it will fill this small gap right here, because gaps typically fill.
What are your thoughts on it? I mean, here, I can read the company bio.
Here. But I don't see a big indication of where the money's at. The money's not there. What's the market
Invest
cap
in an actively, hold on a second, overview.
Whoa. You see, look at the volume. The volume's at 15 what, mil? Okay. Let's break this down. Chart profile.
What is the yield? Oh, is that 15% on Yahoo? 15% yield? That's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's collapsed in price.
That's why. Again, that's what I always say about these dividends when they go up that high. You have to look at the why, not just the what. So when something like that happens, it's you know, it's
It's a
dropped
good
60%, so the dividend is a much higher percentage.
it's a good possibility. It might duplicate. Like
Yeah,
if I look at like the historical point, if something drops massively, there's a likelihood of it doing it again. It's kind
it
of like
goes up when
trapping in
Bitcoin.
buyers to setting them up.
Yeah,
Well, I wouldn't. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I'm a big crypto fan, but Bitcoin is to me is a
20%.
poor indicator for crypto. Like, where's
Yeah,
that
I mean, it
20%
was
coming from?
good like a year ago, or I mean, it was when it peaked out. Anyway,
Like, it just it seems like this crypto, if it's following crypto, I don't know what this crypto buys. Like this ticker, what do they buy? Purpose Bitcoin yield. Is it just Bitcoin or is this in the name? Let's see what this portfolio. What's his holdings?
oh, is it a covered call strategy
So it
on
holds.
options writing strategy? But how does that work with
They own
crypto?
some. You can trade options on Bitcoin.
I haven't looked into it
They're
actually.
like there's a like binary options.
Oh,
There's,
interesting. I haven't. You know, we will after this. After this, he keeps saying read the prospectus. He must really like it. He's a frequent commenter. He's a one of the core fans. So I'll read it just because it's you saying it. If it was somebody else, I wouldn't read it. But I'll read it after this. Anyway, I'm a little ticked off that our guest ghosted us. You know what? And if this person messages me again, I mean, after this, it's just very unprofessional.
yeah, the Morningstar category.
I have the company,
Historical
what
data.
it's called. We'll talk about it anyway.
Oh, I mean, I'd like to see this guy.
Oh, the person that was supposed to come on. This is
Promotions.
the person.
So, God, Yahoo Finance has a lot of stuff.
A lot of ads too.
Here, let me go back to investing.com. Where I can
I mean,
give
I
me a
agree.
market.
It fits the narrative that I've been covering.
What, fit $1 million into it?
Well, I've been doing this series like that. I don't know. Is it better than Zim? I
To
did an
be
April
honest with
Fool's
you, if you
video
fit
on
a
Zim.
million, if if somebody puts $1 million in here, I can't guarantee. If I put $1 million, I'll put it that way. If I put $1 million in there, I would expect to lose it all.
Yeah. What about
Like,
make $1 million on Bitcoin, then put it in? Or say you made it
put $1
during the
million.
run up. You know when Bitcoin dropped to like 5,000 when the pandemic started, and then it went up to like 60,000. So you like 12x.
Yeah, but
say you did that.
Bitcoin is 100% correlated to stimulus checks.
That's what you were saying.
No,
Yeah.
no. I tell people like if you, huh?
I said, "There's our guest."
Yeah, if you compare stimulus checks and cryptocurrency, just stimulus checks and Bitcoin, you will notice that the Fed is Bitcoin. The only reason why it runs up.
Right.
What about the halving events? I mean, just get out. Out, Leo. Out. No, out. When this out. Leo. Out. Leo, TV. Leo, out. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. You should bring him on. He probably knows more about finance than some of these YouTubers.
No, when going through some of these like stuff about, especially like Bitcoin, like I just tell people like, just examine it. Why is Bitcoin number one out of all the cryptocurrencies? There's 23,000 cryptocurrencies. aren't there cryptocurrencies that are cheaper, faster, more efficient? Because Bitcoin, by definition, cannot be efficient. It has a horrible efficiency rate.
Mm-hmm.
Based on those efficiency rates, is it actually used? I don't see anyone. I mean, I look through the transactions. Like Bitcoin does not have transactions for coffee. It doesn't have small transactions. Because of what? It's too expensive. It's too
Right.
slow.
Yeah, so
It's
why
like,
is it number one?
it's because of, I would say this, it was first to market.
Yeah,
First to
that
market.
would be my answer too.
And once Bitcoin's thrill is over, because like I said, like I use other cryptocurrencies that are far cheaper. So if I want to send $200 to the internet, why would I use Bitcoin? I would use Hedera. I would use Dash. Ethereum's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But
True.
Ethereum makes more sense of an argument because Ethereum has thousands of cryptocurrencies that are riding on the backs of it. Bitcoin also does, but it's becoming too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Having it may make BTC worth more. It doesn't make it worth more because, and this is what I'm saying when I talked about cryptocurrency, when you have a limited supply of something, that doesn't mean it's worth more. So, for example,
Is it like a stock split?
It's kind of like a stock split in
Mhm.
a sense, but it's like this: if I create a cryptocurrency called cookies, yeah, if I call a token called cookies, I make the supply 100 cookies. Does that make it valuable because there's only 100 cookies out there?
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Remember, Bitcoin has 23,000 other cryptocurrencies as competition.
Mm-hmm.
That's the definition of inflation.
Yeah. But
So-
I think the whole appeal, there's that whole book on the Bitcoin standard and stuff. There's the theory about it, like, there's not going to ever be any more produced.
No,
right?
that'd be incorrect. All you have to do is just do what? Create another, call it Bitcoin, Bitcoin Gold. Exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bitcoin can split off to other Bitcoins.
Yeah.
And it's called something else. Now, when
Mhm.
it comes to the limited amount of Satoshis, and yeah, but I just tell people like Bitcoin. When you see it at my perspective is the programming aspect. Almost no one. I mean, I'm like one of the rarest people when it comes to programming who actually can program parts of a cryptocurrency. I don't know anyone else. Do you know anyone who can program a cryptocurrency by themselves
Mhm.
or program anything?
Well, yeah, I know people that can program. I worked around them before,
Mhm.
but
Aren't they rare? There's not many programmers out there just creating cryptocurrencies.
well, I mean, if you worked in IT, basically all your app developers are programmers, but I guess it depends on what environment you're in.
To me, when I look at the cryptocurrencies, how they're all performing dApps and stuff, most of the people do not use cryptocurrencies for those reasons. They just buy and hold it to earn income or try to get rich.
Yeah. Okay, well, since I've given our special guest a half hour or so and he's not going to respond, I can go ahead and actually talk about the platform. It's called, unless you want to talk more about this.
Oh, I actually want to just get, because he wants to talk about it, Mr. Paul Varden. Just ask yourself, if you really, really want to ask yourself about Bitcoin, just go through all the price jumps from its lows to highs and just ask one common question. Did the Fed have any input into this? Because typically when you look at the price swings after the 19,000, almost every single boom and bust of Bitcoin and all crypto is related to the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, it's just like the general stock market.
Correct. It's the same.
Yeah.
And when people ask like, well, how does that make sense? I'm like, look at it. If you print, just say this. The government says we're going to do a stimulus check or quantitative easing of $500 billion. We're going to give 10% to the American population because that's how it works. The majority is going to go to corporations. If 40% of those individuals are going to place it into Bitcoin or into a cryptocurrency to basically, that they have to, because they can't spend the money because inflation has gone up too much. So if they spend the money, they'll be at zero. So by a basic probability that, hey, the majority are going to buy an asset. The only asset class that's moving and grooving is crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Who can flip $200 on their stimulus check to $1,000? It's not stocks. It's not Forex. It's going to be that stimulus check going into crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think people are going to put their money when investments fail? Now, I think that's a really odd way of thinking, because the majority of street money are going to put their money into losing assets because they always lose. Retail traders always lose. Big money doesn't lose. So big money, what I know they are, because I can see what they're doing, called COT reports. Big money is buying 3 asset classes guaranteed: precious metals, energy, and a few, I would say, few other startups. And those startups are going to be energy and commodity based. But they're all going resource based. Why? Why are they going resource based? Because this administration is forcing them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're forcing their yield to go up. So if you have time, Mr. Paul Varden, if you have time, compare, oh my gosh, metals again. The best performing asset outside of cryptos is precious metals. Look in the last 110 years.
I just, I mean, I know we're overdue for like a reckoning with the monetary system and all that. I just don't see them letting it happen. I mean, we were at this point in 07 and 08, and we just papered over it. We just keep on. I don't know how long it can go.
We papered over it, but precious metals went up a 13x during that period. 13x. You don't need a lot of money to be a multimillionaire when you get a 13x. You're talking about with 10,000, 13 bucks. You're talking about, and that's not that's a 13x in one direction. Remember, the real estate crashed. So if you're going up 13 times, you can be buying at a 50% discount. So you're talking about 26 to 30 times your purchasing power just from precious metals.
Well, and I mean, even the S&P and like the other indexes, we were averaging like 20% a year during that like 12-year bull run. It was crazy.
2% of on average gold has been no. What
you guys are kind of getting into back and forth.
When I tell people this is the big problem that many people do that I meet. When they talk about gold, they talk about paper gold. Digital gold and paper gold have no correlation to actual precious metals. They're not even on the same price charts. Most people don't even know how they look when it comes to pricing. So, for example, if you have time, gold is not a buy and hold thing. Huh? You'd have made, oh my God.
I'm staying out of this one.
Like, this is like when I meet people that talk like this, like, it's like they haven't examined the charts to measure purchasing power versus precious metals. And
what I was going to say, what I agreed with you on, because we've had this debate before, the index price is not really reflective.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you've got to look at the actual spot price, right?
Correct. They don't even match. Like, to buy 1 ounce of gold, you're spending what, $500 sometimes over spot price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why I tell people, like, when people bring up paper and digital gold, it tells me instantly they have not looked at gold's actual value. They look at the digital prices controlled by banks and not the actual price, because you can't buy it at that spot price. And then if you want to compare gold and Bitcoin, it's not a comparison that you can do. It's not, they're not the same thing. So I'll give a very easy example. Gold has 5,000 plus years of history. Bitcoin has history, but is only measured by manipulation outside the 19,000. Everything outside the 19,000 when it comes to all cryptocurrencies is the Federal Reserve. And if you don't believe me, just look at every stimulus quantitative easing package. Every single time, all cryptocurrencies go up. It's how it is. The Fed can control all spot fake markets, but they cannot control real precious metals.
Well, it's the same thing with the stock market too. So I always say, it's a rigged game, but you might as well play it.
Yeah, exactly. And here, I'll show people this. I'm going to go to my website because it has all the links. But look, when you the reason why I bring up the Fed and why the Fed controls crypto, because the Fed has an infinite band of currency. They can control everything when it comes to fake digital markets.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't control
the Federal Reserve System, right? They have infinite money on reserve, right? That's the name.
I can do. Oh my god! I mean, they have some limitations, and their biggest limitation is faith. Once they lose faith, those markets get eaten up. So,
well, that's
for example,
really like the currency. I mean, faith in the currency.
Yeah, and by definition, what is a fiat currency? Currency, you can look it up. It says by fiat, by demand of the government.
Mm-hmm.
There's
I
no
will
value.
say this. I will say this. Compared to products that like financial advisors sell, I agree. You're better off just being completely in the market, being in index funds and whatnot. But like compared to products that financial advisors sell people, gold does way better, because I can give examples that I've seen myself, like annuities and things like that. The gold, you would have just been better off in gold than after they take all their fees and stuff. But as far as just being in index funds, like for the S&P, for the NASDAQ, stuff like that, I do agree that's probably your best bet. That's what I do.
So when I tell people this, like when it comes to stock investing, that is the one class one piece out of your pie chart. When I talk about why precious metals performs better than crypto, it's quite obvious, because all in the fiat here. Actually, let me bring up one more chart. When it comes to currency, the currency has little to no value. It just made up. It's something that it does follow the rules. That's why I put in money and currency are two separate things. That's why they're two different words. They have two different roles. When you have when you have dishonesty, and remember, this is not the United States as an example. All countries except for like two do the same thing. They do dishonest marketing. We have dishonest capitalism. Well, since 1913, we don't have capitalism. We have a syndicate controlling the system, and it's very obvious that we do, because they even report it that way. Give me a second. Let's bring up the dollar purchasing power.
You know what he's saying? So, this is the conventional investing wisdom. I've heard this a lot.
Dollar.
You want to address this one? Because I have heard this a lot.
It's only meant to be 5% of your portfolio. So I would say this. For me, I have it like 40 to 50% of my portfolio, because I know that when I get a 40x minimum on my precious metals, it will outperform everything else in the markets. And I'll tell you, if you start breaking down the numbers of not digital gold, real gold and silver, it outperforms almost every single market, including cryptocurrency. Rich Dad Poor Dad, to me, would be it's an okay/bad example, because Rich Dad Poor Dad, to me, he explains things in a way that are very generic and basic. It works for all business, but how do I say this? Because Rich Dad Poor Dad goes into a lot of network marketing. I'm not a fan of network marketing, but when he talks about just dishonesty, I would agree with him. So here's our chart, guys. So since 1913, since the Federal Reserve was implemented, this is when we stopped doing capitalism, and this is when the markets have been manipulating control. And this is why almost every industry in the United States why aren't you buying silver covered calls like some? Oh, so for example, the reason why I don't buy silver covered calls is I trade on 1,000x, or I'm sorry, 100 to 1,000x leverage in Forex. I get the same leverage that they did. I get the same leverage that you guys get in covered calls or in options, but I do it in Forex because I can automate and program that out instead.
1,000x sounds like a lot more, though.
It's actually, you can go up to 3,000x.
Do you post videos about like you do instructionals on like your trading strategy and stuff?
Here, I'll show you guys an example.
I'll have to watch it.
I just won't talk. Forex. I won't just talk. I'll just show real examples.
Well, we could learn Forex from that. What was we had them on last week from iBoomerang.
Right? If you want to,
yeah.
I mean, those guys they can teach Forex, but they won't show a P&L.
I paid for their monthly course. I just 1 month. That's what that's supposed to get me. I get access to some videos on Forex.
Oh, not my channel. Give me a second. Here we go. So, why aren't you buying covered calls? Answer that. 40 and up on dividends. Like, dividends are great. I think dividends are one of the best ways to become from low, middle to rich class. I think it's the greatest way to get there. But if you're a highly specialized individual, dividends is only one small piece of your portfolio. The biggest part of my portfolio outside of precious metals is Forex trading. I automate hundreds of robots to trade for me. And I show live, so I don't just talk. I like to show evidence. God, I mean, I don't want to be like an iBoomerang individual, talk about my story and then go into my story, but never show a damn live example of real trading. But
yeah, he said he wanted to come back on, but I don't know. I talked to the other guy because I just wanted to get a better understanding of like what I actually paid for.
Also, what's it called? One second. Here we go. So here's my robot trading. Like I just live stream my robots all trading. And I show scalping robots. I show trend trading robots. I literally for 8 hours I'll show my robots trading hundreds of positions, just to show people that we're on a one.
Hey, I
you
posted the
bringing
link.
me on
You
next?
can type the link and you can come on right now and debate us. I put the link up here. I did the same thing last week too. We didn't have any takers.
I will.
Yeah.
I would love to debate somebody in crypto. I mean, I study so much about, and I tell you the one thing about cryptocurrency that people do not know about, like especially me, I can program this stuff. I've been programming for almost 20 years, like since I was 13, making robots.
That's awesome. What got you into that?
So remember back? Oh, we're the same generation. Remember back on Cartoon Network?
Mm-hmm.
They had the Gundams and stuff.
The what?
They had the Gundam wings. Remember the Gundams on Cartoon Network? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That Big O and some other robot cartoons that really got me into it. And I started reading this book called, How to Program for Dummies, C++ book. And that's how I learned how to program.
Oh, really? So so the cartoon?
Yeah. And I started making robots since I was a kid. And I tell people, programming robots to me is that's how I became so analytical.
They're designing robots like for all kinds of stuff now, not just trading, but like all kinds of stuff. Like gaming robots have become really popular too.
Oh yeah, Thundercats. I love Thundercats. Oh my god. Rhino, ha! Oh man. So here's this robot here. This is a scalping robot that I made called Thor's Hammer. Thor's Hammer is this. So this background changes every 60 seconds, and basically it shows my robot trading very minute, small positions with this account balance. So this account balance is, let's see, it's taken 100. It's taken 43 wins, 106 losses, -$65.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one doesn't do too good for it, but it just shows how a robot can trade for you, not a profitable robot. I show every type of robot, Bollinger Band strategies, a whole bunch of other strategies to show people that any strategy can be implemented on a programmable robot.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how people like me I can back test and prove if strategies work or don't work. And most likely they don't work. It's very rare for our strategy to work. And if the strategy did work, I probably would never post it.
So when you get a working computer, I've been opening this up to the audience the last few weeks. So whenever you get one, feel free. It would be cool to have a live, audience live stream.
How much have you made this year? In what?
I think he's talking about off your robots. I don't know if you would disclose that or not.
I mean, some I do. I show my P&L. It's not a big.
Wait, don't they have to buy your course for you to disclose that?
I don't have a course. Oh man, I love that. Hey guys, if you want to know how much money I make, please buy my course. It's
for me, I would show like what I've made this year, but I sell $1,000 course, but there's a one-time discount. It's $950 with the promo code THB. And if you join, then you'll get to see all the behind the curtain, all my profits and losses. Well, mainly profits, because if you're at the stage where you sell a course, you don't have losses, right?
Yeah. There's no losses. Like so
see, that's how you know the way to distinguish a legit trader from a non-legit. When they have a Lamborghini behind them, you know they're a baller. You know they made it.
And they got tattoos, a bunch of jewelry, and they got a hot chick that's sitting there for no reason.
Yep, a bunch of
I love when you see their videos. I'm in my office. Here's my trade station, and look at all this stuff. Let's put in some trades. And they're on their phone, and they're on there talking, and you're like, what? That's trading, But
nice. Yeah.
Mr. Paul Varden. So if you want to look at my cryptocurrency portfolio, I examine and talk about cryptos. I mean, I've made like 200 plus videos in crypto.
Well, see, if you don't buy all the bling and all the cars and all of that and all the women and stuff, then
I just tell people
you
like, how
have
can
more
they?
money to invest.
I know some people. How do they afford it? Like, think about. I mean, I know they all go broke, but just say you had a $400,000 trading account. Your average per year is 20%. So okay, so 400K times 0.2, you're making 80K, and you're going to lose about 40-50% taxes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no space for jewelry. There's like you're living pretty comfortable, but you have to stay within your budget as long as you maintain 20%.
I keep seeing that when I went on your channel the first
Mm-hmm.
time, and oh my god, your thumbnail designer, they picked the worst picture. It always cracks me up.
Oh yeah. And this is how we met like 4 months ago on here. But I also talk about why just why precious metals do so good.
That's exactly right. That's what
any other market
people do.
I can also explain why most cryptocurrencies, they're all the same. So when you compare Bitcoin, I will literally go through it and show like, here's Bitcoin, here's 5,000 other currencies that do the exact same thing. Why would I buy Bitcoin over these?
Hey, real quick, speaking of this, I'm going to show a good example of like a fake social media profile. So I got a friend request. I got a friend request from this person today, and they messaged me, and I went right to, I said, all right, what are you selling? Because well, I'll just show it up here. So this is the person's name, and you can tell what they say in their bio. They're a pro trader and expert technical analysis, not expert technical analyst, but expert technical analysis. You can tell they're 100% legit because look, they work for Meta. They studied at Harvard. They live in New York. So, I mean, right there, they live in a big city. They work for Meta, one of the best companies in the world. And I wouldn't question that at all because they posted it on their social media profile. So I wouldn't doubt that at all. And they studied at Harvard. And they have a nice Camaro as a picture of their car. So you know this is the person you want to take trading lessons from, right? And a Range Rover.
Actually, you don't mind if I share my screen again before
yeah, go ahead.
switch off? Yeah.
But this is the type of person you want to take trading lessons from because nice Camaro, went to Harvard, works for Meta. And because they posted all this on their profile, I have no reason to doubt that all those things are true.
Give me a second. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll show you some cool things about Forex trading on YouTube. You know, these professional traders that do some very unique things. Oh my God. Let me see, not this screen. Oh, here we go.
This stuff does crack me up.
So guys, I don't know a lot of these traders. I don't follow many traders on social media because of this reasoning, for these reasons. Now, I have any evidence supporting them, but I don't have any evidence against them at the same time. It's always like, kind of like gee whiz stuff. All right, here you guys. So all I did is $7,900. Now, I don't know. This is an ad. So why would someone put an ad to be clicked on your YouTube channel? Because you're looking for bigger audience.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she has a course. I don't know. I know the Doyle Exchange. I've seen this guy. He actually trades live. One of the few traders that actually can tell that they trade live. Now, I don't know if he's a good trader or not. I have no idea. But like I said, he's one of the few traders that trade live. This guy's known. Mamba FX is known to be a scammer. I will actually say this on camera. He's a scammer.
Mm-hmm.
This guy sells a badass course, though. His course.
He's got money in his hand, though.
Oh yeah, he's a good example of people who have.
I'm impressed by the money in his hand, though. He seems like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
See, I've got money in my hand too.
I mean, he's into it. I mean, look, he got the car.
They buy this on Amazon for like $7.
Yeah, I mean, I told him, like, is this guy successful? What, only making 70? Look, he has a 15-minute video talking about how he made $70,000 in only 15
Mamba
minutes. It's going to be a whole vlog. Yeah, if you watch the video, it's a whole vlog and then like 5 minutes of trading. That's it.
Let me try to answer this question here. So I actually haven't tracked mine. Probably between the 401k and whatnot. I think everything is up this year because everything kind of
How
bottomed
much
out
is
at the
your
end of last
portfolio
year.
up this year?
Some stuff like my options, I've had several wins this year, but I had a couple of losses in the last month that ate into. I actually would have been up like 20% in options, but I had some big losses that I took that kind of wiped out a lot of my gains. So I'm probably up 3 or 4% in options, but I took some stupid losses. I had a couple of them that I let expire stupidly because I thought, I don't know, it's hard to keep track every day. You really have to watch it every day because, when the market moves against you, that theta decay can eat them up fast.
I'm only down with. Can I ask you a question, Mr. Paul Varden? When it comes to your portfolio, this is why when people talk about portfolios, it doesn't make much sense to me because when you look at the portfolio, how much of it is actually liquid usable cash versus trading? It's like I don't measure my portfolio value, like percentage, like how much is up or down, because it's in precious metals. I don't consider that a tradable asset. Like how much of it are you actually comparing up or down? Because up or down to me doesn't mean anything. Because it's all about like relative and what you're purchasing. So if gold's down, say gold's down 10%, my portfolio is 40% gold, say for example. But real estate's down 50%. So technically I'm actually up 40% measured in stocks. Does that make sense? No, so just say today gold is down 10% and your portfolio is just all gold, right? But stocks are down 40%. So you're technically up 30% up because your purchasing power selling gold into stocks is up 30%. So that's how I measure purchasing power. So when I don't really care so much about if it's up or down percentage, I just care if I can purchase more. Does that make sense?
Well, and I agree with what he's saying here, buy and hold. I mean, that's what I do long term. So long term, I'm way up, like in my 401k and stuff. Total invested versus what the market value. I've got to update because I keep very thorough track of all this stuff, and I'll show that one day on the channel. Right now, just in full disclosure, for the last month or so, I've been trying to do all these crazy dividend scenarios. I'm trying to drive up my watch time because I'm still 1,000 hours short of where I need to be in monetization. So worst case scenario, I may go a month or two demonetized, and then I'll just apply again. But I'm closing the gap. What hurt me, October and November, I changed jobs, so I was hardly posting at all. And that's what hurt me. Like literally in the month of October, I had like 98 watch hours. But last month, I'm actually building up quite a bit because last month I had almost 700 watch hours. But I feel like I'm going to fall just short by May 1st. So that's why I'm doing all these dividend stuff. But I'm going to get back to like, broadening the topics once that's done. So.
Hopefully this is going to be helping you out, this video. But I'll give you that information because I start my agency tomorrow, my first day tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about that. That's right.
Yeah. Let me know how it will perform in 25 years. What? Can you
read the future?
My.
If I knew that
answer, I would. I can guarantee you one thing in 25 years. It's very easy. If we still use fiat currency and we still use the dollar, precious metals will purchase more then than today.
Well, I would think if I had to make a prediction, I would think the S&P, the NASDAQ, I would think all the indexes should be higher in 25 years than they are today.
Yeah. I mean, higher or lower, I just, like, even if it's market up, because if you measure, oh my God, have you guys ever measured,
I can do a 25-year projection on this, just assuming, do you want me to, so I have to make certain assumptions in that projection. You want me to assume that the dividends stay constant? Because that makes it really easy. If you want me to just assume that the dividends stay constant.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think SVOL, RA, JEPI, JEPQ, those indicate, just those four are sustainable for 10 years?
Probably
at
not.
The current, like when I oh man, we didn't go over this last call.
Look at QYLD. I mean, it's dropped probably in half, but it's paid out a pretty good dividend over time.
because for me, like even when I went through those, like this is where we divide. Like I can never buy those, just because like it would be trading for dividend ramps up. I mean, I can see the statistical probability of you making X amount of money. I can see how it can be measured, but in reality, most likely your principal is gonna keep going down lower because they're paying too high of a dividend long term.
Mm-hmm.
Like if like there's this video I watched with a hedge fund hedge fund manager. He said if any company pays over 10%, understand that they are a high risk dividend. Let me find this video. He's one of the best trade. He's like a Michael Burry trader. He was talking about like why companies pay so high of a dividend, and it over the long period of time, their charts start just melting.
Here's the way I look at that. I don't mind, like, if I'm going to get that guaranteed return and it's just going to bleed out from my principal and I keep reinvesting it at a lower price, I'm still going to come out ahead. I'm not totally opposed to that. A lot of people think, oh, that's eating into your return and whatnot. But if you're getting like 12% a year fixed, you're still doing great.
You would have to guarantee that they don't decrease the dividends as the price is decreasing. Because
well, I mean, there's no guarantees in life. I mean, you got to take some risk. But the way I look at it, like I said, there's risks just keeping your money sitting in cash because it's losing 9% every year.
For me, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't even go for the dividend. I'll just short the stock because that's what they're guaranteeing. In like my point of view, when the dividend's so high, and people are because I know your strategy. Your strategy is buying
monthly income,
dollar cost averaging in.
Yeah.
So for me, I would just short the chart, and I'll always be right.
Like if I make 10,000 a month on dividends, like the whole $1 million thing.
Gold isn't rare.
I don't know. You guys on this gold thing,
I don't understand. What do you mean gold isn't rare? If it's
why do we keep going back to gold?
If all the gold in the world can fit in an Olympic-sized pool, all the gold in the world, all throughout history, can be fit in an Olympic-sized pool, there's not a lot of it.
I do know this. Whoever has the gold makes the rule, right?
Yeah. Why do you think? Okay, let me give you a very easy question. What tier 1 asset are world and central banks buying? They're only buying gold and then second to oil, because oil touches all industries. It's the most used commodity of all commodities.
And OPEC is cutting supply again so we can have $5 gas by summer.
Do you guys know what the second most used commodity is? Silver.
Yeah, I was going to say silver is probably the one
why is money? Remember, gold and silver are so desired by the richest and wealthiest and most powerful individuals because they know its value is more important than people actually perceive. They think there's a reason why they give you fiat, they give you crypto, and they keep the gold. Because those individuals, those things can be created out of thin air. I can create a cryptocurrency. I can watch a YouTube video on how to create a crypto. Watch this. How to create a cryptocurrency.
Oh, cool. I've never looked at that.
Oh, it comes right up.
Wow.
Yeah, I tell people this. Like, I can look how to create your own cryptocurrency in 15 minutes. Programmer explains. If something can be created in 15 minutes, it shows you its value. It's very common and it's not worth much. Gold and silver.
I know someone who's really bullish on this. Some of these other ones like SafeMoon and whatnot. Really intelligent person. Maybe I'll have him on and see if he'll come on here and talk to us.
When this individual says gold isn't rare, you probably don't buy it very often. Because like I just tell you, like I buy precious metals every single Friday for like the last like 10 plus years, every single Friday, just no matter what. And
see, like for me, I don't do that, but I know where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from because I've been familiarized with that argument before. So I mean, I don't disagree, but it's just not something that I'm at the point yet of doing. But there are people in my family that think exactly the same way.
And I just tell people, like, from a historical point, why is it that every single country that goes to fiat currency, they ban gold and silver? it shows you that if the government is telling you that it's illegal to have, that means you should be having it. You should keep it. Because the government does not want people to be prosperous. The government wants less people to be rich. Because typically, the richer the individual is, the more intelligent they are. Poorer people, on average, don't read books.
I don't
They
know.
don't
Look at
invest.
the Kardashians.
Kardashians is a good example of a weak culture of males.
Yeah.
When you have a culture of males that are weak, you have simps give them money.
I know they made Kanye West crazy, and they created Caitlyn Jenner, right?
Yeah, I mean,
They do.
look how they are. They took out the spot. The government doesn't
Really?
want people to be rich. The government needs people
I
to
have
be
to
poor.
disagree with that. Well,
Wait.
yeah,
Oh my God. Okay, can I have this,
rich,
please?
The rich get around. Yeah, go ahead. But the rich.
Oh
get
my
around.
God. So this is why I know how you are prior to this. I know for a fact that you have not looked at the debt balance sheet of the United States, because taxes does not pay off our debt. Taxes does not run the United States balance. Our balance sheet does not run off of taxes. It runs off of printed currency every single year. Our deficit is so much larger than our income from taxes.
Well, in the U.S., but in Canada, I'm not as familiar with Canada's situation.
No, it's the same thing in Canada. I can show you the debt clock. I looked at the debt clock for every single country that uses fiat currency. They're all the same. The government
Where do we rank? Are we like one of the worst ones?
We rank number one.
Of course.
We're number one.
We're number one at something. Hey, we're number one at something. Right?
No. Wars costed you deficit. Negative. That's not correct. Not correct. So war prior to 1913 required Congress to be financially intelligent to pay off their debt and pay off for war. So they couldn't go to war without having the gold in reserves. After 1913, that's why they got rid of it. They can do fiat currency and spend as much as they want to finance any war.
That's
hence
true.
The Federal Reserve.
And I agree somewhat, because the majority of our deficit does come from defense spending. We also have a lot of discretionary social programs and whatnot.
Actually, let me show you.
There's a lot of ways. Here's the thing. Defense falls under the purview of the government. There's a lot of waste in the government.
And not just that, like I'll tack on to that to compound it. If you guys compare the amount of, if you want to be rich in America,
I agree 100%.
How much you gave to Ukraine weapons again? Remember, we didn't give anything from Ukraine that we didn't print. All the money that Ukraine got was this printed income, printed money straight off the Fed, and the politicians own stocks and assets in Ukraine and get a kickback from it. And if you don't believe me, look at all the stocks that
it's printed money. It's totally printed money.
No, it isn't
enough in tax revenue to cover
Correct.
our expenses.
This guy doesn't believe me. I'll show you.
Here's the thing. Your logic is right. If this was like a private business, then yeah, expenses and income, you have to balance it out. But the government has, just like he's saying, they have the authority to print unlimited amounts of money. So our tax revenue never matches our expenses. You could go to the debt clock, which he's going to do right now, and that's true. And this whole Ukraine thing, I would have to say, like, just in the United States, I'm not going to get into where I stand, or where he stands, but the majority of people are opposed to all the money we're giving. But it seems like we have no say. They're just going to do it regardless, and like the people have no say, really. Anyway, that's as political as I thought I'd get today.
Just attack on that little political part and why we want more poor people. Poor people on average do not read books. They watch TV, they watch politicians, they listen to people without evidence. Rich people require evidence. That's why they're rich. They're not rich by accident.
Here's the thing. You're absolutely right. Like, if you're looking at it from the standpoint of like business logic, yes. If you're running a business, if you're running a household, if you want to do a kitchen repair, if you want to do a new garage, you want to build a tool shed, you want to build a pool, well, that money has to come from somewhere. Or you run it up on credit cards. For the government, it's kind of the same thing. The government, now here's what you can't do as an individual that the government can. So if you compare the finances of the government to household finances, you can increase your credit limit if your income is increasing. But the government can increase it just by Congress voting to raise the debt ceiling, not meaning that our income is increasing. They just say, oh, let's do it. And we got into this last week because they're talking about, oh, we got to pay our bills. Increasing your credit limit is not paying your bills. Increasing your credit limit is racking up more and more debt. So that's the
So
difference. The government can do that, but a private business can't, and individual households can't do it. So that's the difference.
let me answer this guy's question. He says, if I give you 15 billion in weapons, now you have to order 15 billion to replace what I borrowed. Remember, the government, the Federal Reserve is a private bank controlled by the other banks, right? The 13 seats. What they do is this: they have a problem, and it's $15 billion worth of weapons. What the government will do is conduct with the Fed, and remember, the government has one seat on this panel of 13. The other seats are just, remember, it's a private bank. So they're like this: okay, we'll give you the 15 billion, and we'll get it at a set interest rate that we control. The Fed controls the interest rate, and they do this back and forth because they get a 6% dividend on all money loaned out.
Do they call that seniorage?
I just call it, it's a syndicate.
Like what a private bank makes off of the money they print or something. I think there's an economic term for it.
I don't know the economic term, but if it is, then I'm learning something new.
But yeah, I've heard that term, but yeah. But it's kind of crazy to think that a bank, like your central bank, makes money off of. They're supposed to be in charge of like the currency and stuff, but it is what it is. Finances are complicated.
Wait, buddy, I'm almost done. So this will help you out to show you this. Okay, when you look at defense spending, 781 billion, Social Security 1.2 trillion, and Medicare and Medicaid 1.5 billion. If you start really, really breaking down the numbers, defense is a problem. Our social welfare system is actually way worse. But if you start looking at look at our income. Look, U.S. federal tax revenue
versus expenses.
Look at our expenses.
See the spending over here to the left?
Right
see
here.
The tax revenue? See a problem? There's about a $1.4 trillion discrepancy.
It is, God, it's so crazy. Because if you look at the rate of our tax revenue, it's increasing because these guys are trying to make us poorer. But if you look at our interest, our interest on the debt, it is skyrocketing faster. They have to print billions and trillions each year. Not trillions, I'm sorry, billions each year just to balance the budget.
You know what's crazy? Every time, I think it's every 3 or 4 months that I look at this site, and I swear it's always $1 trillion higher every time I look at it. So if you do some basic math here, if you take the shortfall, you take federal tax revenue minus federal spending, what did I say? It's about 1.4 trillion, and I'm being conservative. Just projecting that out 10 years, that's 14 trillion in the hole. So,
and I'll tell you this is why I tell people this: Bitcoin, when it comes to all countries that do the exact same fiat dishonest currency, have the same charts. They all do the same thing. Dishonesty leads to the same corruption. Wait, let us stop. No. Here you go, buddy.
Anyway,
this is actually a fun call.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Here you go. All right, guys, but I think I have to go right now after this right here. But thanks, Mr. Parvarden. It's been fun, but I think what will help you out to help your understanding. Out.
You can go if you need to.
Oh, no, I think that I need to send this to him. This will help. The problem is that when it comes to people understanding finances, the biggest thing that I see that they have is that a core discrepancy that they have is that they do not know the difference between money and currency and monetary history. I'll show you guys this before I leave. Go here. Go to what's the heck is it called? It's called Mike Maloney. Type in Mike Maloney and watch this playlist. If you watch this playlist, I guarantee you after it, you're going to agree with everything that I said, because for one, I know the statistical numbers in this. I can literally show you why precious metals outperform crypto. It will outperform basically everything, because dishonesty is so bad in America that it's going to make the fluctuations massive. And then I guarantee before gold and silver take off to the moon, like it did previously, they're going to ban it or make it illegal. And when they make it illegal, it is going to be hidden secrets of money. So the thing's called hidden secrets of money. Watch the playlist 1 through 13. It will teach you about financial and monetary history to a point where you'd be like, holy crap. So here's the first video. I get every one of my clients that go through my mentorship, which is free, and I tell people like watch these videos before we talk, and I guarantee you're going to be seeing things so. Oh my God, like if people just realize how much corruption the governments have been doing. Here you go, guys. So check out this playlist. Watch all videos. Get his free book. All right, but all right, guys, I gotta go. I got my munchkins going crazy right now.
That's fine. I'm gonna stay on. I'm gonna talk about this person that was supposed to join that ditched out on us. So you go ahead, and I'll talk about this.
Thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. Bitcoin versus gold debate. I will just. Oh my God! If you have time, Peter Schiff, gold versus silver debate. Gold always wins.
Next week we'll have a encore on the debate.
All right, Matt. I'll see you guys.
Okay, take care. Thanks for joining.
Okay,
right. So what the actual purpose of the podcast was for tonight, we were supposed to have a guest on that was going to talk about copy trades, and that didn't happen. He confirmed. He said he was going to join, and it didn't happen. So anyway, this was the chat here. So what the person's been advocating is something called copy trades. And we were going to have an interesting discussion. We were going to have the person on because the person's been talking to me on social media for probably 6 months or so. And what it is, they make money if you join their copy trades thing. And I probably had 50 of these in the past couple of years. And it's all the same thing. They reach out, they build rapport with you. They say, they try to get to be like buddies with you. And then once they think you've built adequate, once they think that you're comfortable with them, then comes the sales pitch. Then they say, oh, you can make so much money on copy trades, meaning that somebody in their group does trades and then it's copied. And then you just basically take the same trade and then they make a commission off of it. And the reason they're so pushy a lot of times is because they make money in the equation. So that's why they keep following up. Have you talked to this person? Have you talked to this person? Have you joined this group or that group? So when I started building up my channel, I started joining all these financial groups like on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And there are people that like scour these groups for whenever you give a post like a thumbs up, whenever you comment. There's people that just like stalk these groups basically. And they find your name and your information and they'll message you privately and they'll say, hey, I see you joined a financial group. You must be really into fill in the blank, crypto, investing, markets. And you're like, oh yeah, sure. And at first for me, I started talking to everybody because I wanted to build up my channel. So I wanted to network and whatnot. So, I was building up my channel, but I just got a lot of these scammy people on here. And what I started doing, and we were 2 for 2, but unfortunately the person this evening ghosted us. But we had our first guest on 2 weeks ago. Then last week we had on this iBoomerang / I forget whatever it's called platform. I paid for a month of it, but I don't think I'm going to even get anything out of it. I just thought, whatever. I wanted to get them on, so I don't care. But okay. So this is the person that's been messaging me that was supposed to come on, and very unprofessional to say you're going to come on and then just ghost basically. So yeah, I'm trying to see here. Let's see, lots of questions. How are you? What's going on? How's your experience with the Capital Vault group been? And I just said I haven't looked. And then, I thought you started earning on the platform. And the platform was called verfinance.org, Vernon Finance Limited. This was it right here. And here's a link to the platform. You could request for the policy guide from the group admin. Now, the funny thing, the quickest way to silence these people is to invite them on, because I invited like 10 of them on, didn't hear another word. A couple of them were like, oh no, I'll just talk about it with you here. So I said, no, be confident. You're pitching this. This looks good. Like daily ROI. It sounds awesome. Come talk about it. I have an audience. My podcast co-host, he has an audience. Come talk about it. I'm sure the audience, we all like new ways to make money, but they don't want to come on and talk about it. And that says something. At least the last 2 we had were confident enough to come on and talk about it. So anyway, going back to Monday, I invited this person on the podcast and they said, okay, what time? I told them the time. They said, okay, it works. And then they said they'll be waiting for the link. I sent them the link. They were back on, just never joined. Tried to call them from Facebook, never joined, and then just ghosted. So very unprofessional on this person's part. Now, as far as copy trades, I had a comment here. Yeah, I think that is, and I think that would be. Of course, I've had some very audacious people on Facebook that one of them actually basically suggested to do insider trading. They basically, and I don't know what kind of a person this was, but they tried to say, "Oh, I have this inside tip on this stock from so and so," and I point blank asked them. I said, "So you're telling me you're basically recommending that I do insider trading?" Like that's wow, that's unbelievable. And never did it, of course, but I followed the stock, and the stock's down like 50% anyway. But the person, and I find the person to be a moron. They wanted me to sign up for their stock alerts, which it just was a joke. Their options thing, they would throw out a random option signal. Sometimes it was right, sometimes it was completely wrong, where you like lose all your money. So there's a lot of scammy people online that you have to be careful for. Like if you're ever like at home and you're watching videos like this, I'm sure a lot of ads that come on these videos like this, especially, when you're watching financial videos, you're looking for ways to make money and stuff. So there's all kinds of ways you can get scammed out of money. So you have to be careful. And yeah, interesting. I didn't know, but I guess, yeah, it does. I'm sure it happens to the best of us. But yeah, that was the gist of what we were supposed to talk about. We ended up having a really interesting discussion anyway, and didn't talk too much about dividends, but I see one of our favorite ones, SVOL, is coming up again here. Thanks for joining. Yeah, SVOL and all the comparison ones I've done, it's won the competition for the most part, except for Zim and TSLY. Now, as far as the future of those videos, I'm probably going to do some crazier ones like comparing Zim to TSLY, because now I'm just probably going to take the highest yields because I'm still trying to get my watch hours that I need for uh, by May. I've been monetized almost a year on here, but I'm a little short on the watch hours. Yeah, I'm planning. I saw your comment on this. I'm actually planning to cover this one maybe tomorrow or the day after. But the ones, if you've noticed, the ones that get the views the most are the crazier ones. Like the April Fool's one I did has like almost 400 views, and the ones that I'm saying are doing like, well, and that's exactly right, too good to be true, but it gets views. And some of the comments I got, they say, "Hey, you said this was an April Fool's, but it's actually got really good fundamentals and it's at a really good buying point." It might be. I mean, if you're going to buy it low, it might be. Now let me see. Is this one different than what he's saying? OIIL versus OILK. It's like one letter off. Has it been good to you? It pays. Yeah, I'm gonna cover all of these, but I'm thinking like the ones I said that's paying like in the 60% range on dividends. I may do one comparing that to Zim, but there's gonna be a lot more of these in the future. The series is far from over, so I'll keep it going. SVOL. Let's see. Still haven't seen a good red day in SVOL, so I can start buying. It's been, relatively flat. Um, oh, you're saying OIIL was a typo? Well, who knows? There's probably some stock with that ticker. But OILK, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm gonna cover that one because I actually looked it up because I got a comment from Mr. Varden, and it's paying like 18%, so it's equal to our favorite SVOL. But yeah, um, let's see. Is there an OI just for the heck of it? OIIL. Nope. There's oil, of course. Dollar cost average, that makes the most sense. And like I say, even if these do like what the QYLD has done, still you're going to be, if you're getting an average 12% dividend, even if the fund drops in half, the dividend payout is going to more than offset that. So the way I look at it, you're still going to come out ahead even with that. I don't care about the whole principal loss and whatnot. I mean, I'm not throwing everything into these dividends. It's a piece of the pie, so to speak. What price did you get into SVOL at? Probably better than I did because I just bought some like 2 weeks ago. Oh, you got into Zim. Well, good for you. Dollar cost average into Zim. Let me see. In the last 6 months here, the best price for the SVOL was probably in October when everything bottomed out, like 20.75. So even if you didn't get in there, it's only like $1 higher than what it's at now. And really, with the way inflation is, for that to only go up $1 compared to inflation, that's cheaper than everything else. Average is 21. I think I paid 21.72 or something like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Zim pays quarterly. I know for most of these, we want the monthly dividends. But anyway, well, that was a great discussion, guys. Glad you all joined. Sorry we didn't have our guest on, but you can never predict who's going to ghost you and who's not. But anyway, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. For those of you that watch on the back end, enjoy, and I should be back either tomorrow or Friday with another one. So thank you all, and take care.